Welcome to Jack Talk. I'm Kristen Wangi. We have an exciting show today. I'll be chatting with the bowling team, a man who lived through the Great Depression, and we'll wrap it up with a visit from an SFA art professor. I'm thrilled to be joined by members of the 2019 National Champion Bowling Team. Joining me today is Carleen Beyer, Megan Eaglehouse, and Amber Lemke. Let's go ahead and get things started by talking a little bit about yourself. Carleen, let's start with you.
Hi, I'm Carleen Beyer. I'm a sophomore here at SFA. I'm majoring in elementary education, and I hope this upcoming season ends just like it did last year. And I have been bowling since I was 4 years old, and my parents own a 6-lane center back in Wisconsin, and that's where I'm from, is Wisconsin. So
awesome. All right, Megan, how about you?
I have been bowling since I was 2. I am a senior here at SFA. I graduate in the fall of next year, and I have been bowling. Well, I'm from San Antonio, Texas, technically, and that's really about it. I'm really excited for the season. I think we're going to do really well, and it's going to be a good year.
All right, and finally, Coach.
My husband and I are both from Wisconsin. We've been at SFA for 9 seasons. We're just starting our 9th season. And we're really excited to get things started with the success we've had the last few years here.
Awesome. So about the season currently going on, how is it going for you guys so far?
We just started. Practices started October 1st, so we're just newly into the season. We leave for our first event at 4 in the morning tomorrow, and so our first event is shaping up to be a lot stronger than it's been in the past. So I think that'll be a really good indication to see where we're at with our training and kind of where we need to get to for the rest of the year. So we've welcomed 3 new incoming student athletes to the team. We've returned everybody from last year besides our 2 that graduated. So I think we have a really good base to start out with, and I think that we'll see how things go starting this weekend.
Awesome. And do y'all know where the location is going to be?
Harahan, Louisiana.
yes, Louisiana.
Awesome. All right, and quick question, another one for you, Coach. You've been here since 2011. How's that journey been?
So my husband and I came to SFA after being at a Division III school for 4 years. And so, we've had a ton of success when we've been here. We have a ton of athletic department support across campus is awesome. We love living in Nacogdoches, where they are all about SFA and all about SFA athletics, and it's really nice to have that backing and support from everybody around you. And so we have 3 small kids, and so we're enjoying raising a family in a town like this and being able to be part of something that SFA is able to offer, both us as a family and also our student athletes that we bring in.
All right, and then this one's for your players specifically. So how long have you guys been here on the bowling team, and what skills have you gained or learned from the bowling team?
Well, this is my 2nd year here at SFA, and my skills, they've definitely improved since last year. Like, I feel like I'm a lot better spare shooter. I feel like I throw more strikes because our other coach has taught us to follow through better, and I feel like I've been doing that, and I'm really looking forward to the season and growing more as a teammate and a player in the game.
All right.
Personally, I've learned a lot. I definitely have become a lot better spare shooter than I was when I first came here. I also am throwing the ball a lot better than when I first came here. I used to be more on the top. Now I'm more behind it, which is a lot exciting, obviously. I also just enjoy just being a teammate and also learning how to better myself as a person, which they have taught us to do a lot in this whole entire experience. So being here for 4 years has been really good, just to learn as not only like a bowler and like a player, just also as a person to be like a better version of yourself.
Awesome. And so what would you say the SFA bowling team has that no other team has?
I think team chemistry, honestly. We're really known for that just simply because we know we're all together, we're all doing it for ourselves. We're not doing worrying about anybody else. We're all back behind each other 100% of the time. There's never a doubt in our minds that we all have each other's backs.
Awesome to hear. Awesome to hear. Would y'all agree with that, or?
Oh yeah, our bond is something special. I feel like we're one big family, and I mean other teams can say that too, but like I definitely, being so far from home, like they're my family. They're everything that I like lean on while I don't have my parents with me. So.
Yeah.
All right, and then one other thing. So, gotta ask: has anyone bowled a perfect game yet?
I did at practice my sophomore year.
There you go.
So I guess, yeah, I have, but that was my first time. It was just during practice. We were practicing one day and shot 300. It was a pretty exciting moment, honestly.
That is awesome. All right, and so another one for the coach. What academic awards have your players won so far?
We are known across the academic department or across the athletic department to have really good academics. I'm really lucky that we have a really good support staff, and they're really good about making sure that our student athletes are taken care of. And they, we've been the high team GPA through athletics for multiple semesters. Last year, we were lucky enough in the spring, even though we had a pretty tournament invasive and we were gone from class a lot, our team was able to achieve a very high GPA, and that helped us get a whole bunch of awards from our Coaches Association, and we were recognized as being one of the top teams in the country for GPA and things like that. It's definitely something that is important to us. We tell our kids when they come here, you're coming here to go to school, getting a good education from SFA is very important. And bowling is a bonus, and it's a big bonus, but it's a bonus. So we really, 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 stress the academic side to them, and they excel in the classroom with the help of the people across campus and our own academic team here as well.
All right, so another thing, what's y'all's most interesting game you think you've had so far in your
This year, like in our experience?
Overall, yeah.
Overall, I really think it was the last game of the championship, I'm going to say, because the pin carry that we got out of some of those shots was amazing. I think it was a really interesting match overall. As I'm sure a lot of people saw, it wasn't the greatest spare shooting, but we still managed to come out with the win, and I feel like that's really important. And obviously you can tell as well as that, like, our team chemistry again was so well that we all had our backs. Even though we seemed like we were struggling, we still knew that we could depend on each other.
Awesome. And then another quick question. So I noticed that all of you guys really support the volleyball team on the Twitter. Is there any connection between SFA bowling and volleyball?
There really isn't, other than the fact that we're really about like supporting all athletic programs. We understand that like we're all one big family. There's 17 sports here, but like we all need to be united as one. And we're a sport where we're not in town very often, so people don't get to come watch us, but that doesn't mean that we don't reciprocate and make sure that we get to go watch them.
All right, that's about all the time that we have, and I wanted to go ahead and thank you guys so much for being here. It's been great talking to you. I hope this upcoming season ends just like last year's, and after the break, I'll be joined by L.W. Lester, a man who survived and went through the Great Depression.
Thank you.
L.W. Red Lister, a Nacogdoches resident who lived through the Great Depression. All right, let's go ahead and get things started with, of course, you grew up in the Great Depression. You grew up around here, so what was that like for you?
Well, it was, I grew up in a large family, 7 of us kids, and we were raised on a farm. And when the stock market crashed in 90 years ago this month, I was 5 years old. And I started school in the following year, 1930. And the whole time I was in school, it was the Great Depression,
All right, so then continuing on more about your family, what was it like in the household?
Well, it was, we grew most of what we ate, and we bartered for some of it. And a lot of it we did without. We saved the farm, though, which we still own. We to pass it on down to the next generations, But it was, we ate good. We didn't have any money, though.
So you were able to farm, were you able to sell some of that for money, or what else did you use to make money?
Well, we raised cotton, but it was mostly, it went down to 5 cents a pound, You raised it. It took 1,500 pounds of lint cotton to make 500 bale of cotton, so you'd work hard to get $25 for a bale of cotton. And a mule cost $150, so you didn't make much out of cotton,
Right.
but we raised corn and other feed goods like high gear and so forth. And we had truck batches, and we ate like that. And we had our own butter and eggs and all that, you know, and milk and everything. But
And with it hitting you so young, that's all you pretty much knew, I guess, was the Great Depression growing up, right? So
that was all I knew, right?
yeah.
We was all in, and we didn't know we was poor because everybody else was in the boat with us, you know.
Right. Makes sense. And so as far as college life, it continued on at Vector College. How did that work?
I went through high school. I was 11th grades, and I graduated in 1941. And but most of the family went to college, got a degree. I was 7 kids.
Right. So how did it affect them then?
Pardon?
How did it affect them then?
Well, they went on to do good, you know.
Nice.
And they all got good jobs and everything, you know.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I had to make mine on my own, you know. And I went in the industry.
Mhm.
That's where my career ended in the industry.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Yeah, oil industry, that is.
Right. I know current day college students are struggling to be able to pay for things and all of that. Do you know what your family did to help try to pay for college, or?
Well, my brother, oldest brother, came to school at SFA in the 30s. And when the college day was out on 21, he milked cows and helped get his education over here at SFA. And then I had 2 brothers that came here in the early 60s. They quit their jobs in the Gulf Coast and came up here to go to college to get their degrees. And they've all done good, you know.
Sounds wonderful. So as far as the presidency, how effective would you say the presidents were during the Great Depression?
Oh, Lord. Well, you know, we had Republicans who was in there in the 20s, and there was 3 presidents, Republican presidents in there. And the last one was Herbert Hoover. And he didn't, when the stock market crashed in 29, well, he still had 39 more months to go on his term. And that's when they did nothing except just let things go from bad to worse. So when FDR got in, you know, it took him years to get this economy moving again. And that's why my whole career in school was spent during the Great Depression, see.
So
But,
how effective would you say that Truman and Roosevelt were?
well, I thought under the circumstances when FDR took over, you know, things were in bad shape, and people were starving, and the roads were full of hobos and everybody trying to scratch out a living, you know. And he did good, I think, under the circumstances. And then Truman was so honest, you know. He was pitiful. He was so honest, you know. And then on his third, he could have run for another term, you know, but he chose not to. He'd had enough of Washington, you know.
Makes sense. So also, Lyndon B. Johnson was the one that suggested the whole war on, Lyndon B. Johnson was the one that suggested the war on poverty. What was it like going through that?
Lyndon Johnson?
LBJ.
Well, I don't remember too much about that, you know, but it seemed to me like he was real conservative, and then after JFK died, he took his program and run with it, you know. And
so would you say the Food Stamp Act or the Economic Opportunity Act, do you remember any of those?
not really. It's
Not-
just, I don't remember.
No, you're good. So how would you say the Great Depression has affected you in your current day?
It, I don't know, it just, we always worked hard, and we knew what we was going to have. We had to work for it, you know, either do without. And I think it helped be stronger. And,
Right.
right.
And then how would you say that whenever the Depression was over, because you said that, you know, all you were used to was living in times during the Depression since it happened when you were 5. So how would you say that did things change overnight, or was it like a slow was it slow going for you guys?
Well, things began to get better, you know, after World War II was over, and things began to get better, you know, and we got raises on our jobs, you know, and people afford houses, you know, that never could before. In 1952, we bought our first house, and I borrowed $700 for a down payment, and I had to have 16 co-signers to get $700 at the credit union.
Oh, goodness.
And things have changed a whole lot since then, you know.
Right.
You can get more than on your credit card now.
Oh, certainly.
But
is there anything else that you would like to just wrap up and say to close?
Things have changed a lot, you know. It's just, but I would like to bring up about how things changed. You know, the people that went through the Great Depression and everything, they soon forgot. They reminded me of the people coming out of the Egyptians when they came out of the, you know,
Yeah, when they came out of
the Israelites when they came out of Egypt. It wasn't long until they forgot real soon, you know.
Right. And I hear what you're saying, and I want to thank you so much for being here. We're going to go after this break. Dr. William Nieberding, Associate Professor at SFA School of Art, will be giving his lesson on a unique way to do some photography.
From August 13th through October 13th, the Cole Arts Center hosted an art show featuring the faculty from the SFA School of Art. I talked to Jordan Weaver, an SFA art student, about the personalities of the artists through their work, and this is how she described them.
Not about their personalities necessarily, but a lot of just what they're interested in. Like Peter paints a lot of nature scenes, and Piero's pottery, he's really into Japanese pottery, so you can see that in his artwork. And Bill really likes to take pictures of people, so he has a lot of portraiture in here. So you can tell what their favorite subject is.
William Nieberding was one of the artists who had work at the show, and this is some of the examples of work that was present. His work is very unique and one of a kind, and some of the work present included wet paint collodion on aluminum and an inkjet print as well. I also asked Jordan about her favorite piece of work, which happened to be by Candace Hicks, and who she was inspired by.
One of my favorite pieces is Candace's paper artwork, because you can tell she put a lot of time into it. It's paper that's swirled into little patterns, and it's really cool.
This piece right here is Dead Tired by Candace Hicks, the piece of artwork that was made by swirled pieces of paper.
Peter Andrews' paintings inspire me the most because I really like his use of color, and I want to learn to paint like that.
Every faculty member of the School of Art had artwork within the show. Pieces included paintings, pottery, sculptures, and more. Each piece of art was unique in its own way. For JackTalk, I'm Alexis Wolfwhite.
All right, every year the faculty members at the SFA School of Art put on an exhibit for their work. JackTalk reporter Alexis Wolfwhite took a visit to the exhibition. Joining me today is Dr. William Nieberding, who had his photography on display at the exhibit. So let's go ahead and start showing us what it is that you do exactly.
Well, the process that I had in the show is called tintype photography, invented way back in like 1856 or something like that. And it takes a special camera to do tintypes. This is called a 4x5 view camera. and it's set up with a wide-angle lens right now.
Awesome. Okay. And so how did you get into the overall process of making these?
You know, one of my colleagues, Neil Cox, taught a workshop. He teaches it every semester. They offer an alternative processes class, and I really, really wanted to do it like every time he taught it. Finally, I got a chance to do it, and as soon as I did it, I got to say, I absolutely fell in love with it. It's just, it's such a different, unique process. It's really, really appealing.
It really is. All right. Do you want to go ahead and you can show us one?
Sure, I can show you a little bit of the stuff involved.
Awesome.
This is the camera that we use. It's called a 4x5 view camera. Most cameras, you turn the little dial now to focus it.
Right.
This one is even simpler than that. You just move the film plane back further or closer from the lens, and that's how you bring it into focus.
Okay.
This is a special film back, which we actually modified. Used to hold Polaroids when they made Polaroid, and now we use this to hold the wet plate, which actually makes the tintype.
Oh, nice. Okay. So, do you use collodion in it?
Oh, yes, you know the term collodion. Fabulous, yeah. So, like, they take gun cotton, which is nitrocellulose. You dissolve it in ethyl ether. You dissolve it in ethyl alcohol, and it makes this sort of gooey solution that. I don't know if I have a plate handy here, pardon me.
No, you're good.
So you take this gooey solution and you coat it on this plate, and it's, you know, you get that really nice ether smell.
Right.
And then that gets sensitized in a silver nitrate bath, goes in the back, goes in the camera. It's like a, I don't know, you'd say maybe like a 1800s Polaroid process.
It's because I know that Polaroids have like come back into being popular,
Yeah.
but they're more like bought like those little cameras by like Walmart
Yeah,
or
they're so
Target.
tiny, yeah. Yeah.
So how would you say that this varies from that?
You know, it's a lot harder because when you do Polaroid, you just pull the film out, you know, you wait your 90 seconds
Yeah.
and you shake it, and then you get your Polaroid print. This is, oh my gosh.
So much more involved?
It's so much more involved, yeah. Maybe that's the way to say it, yeah.
Yeah, because what is it? The one thing I was looking at it is, what is the purpose of the collodion in the overall process of everything?
Well, the
Is it like-
collodion, you know, during the Civil War, they used collodion to bind up wounds,
Oh.
actually. So it's a binding agent. So the collodion goes onto the metal, and then you, oops, sorry, you don't ever touch the surface. You let it outgas a little bit to get all the ether and alcohol out of it, and then it basically holds the image onto the plate. That's what the collodion does.
So do you never touch the surface? It like I know with like our own cameras, it's one of those situations of like the oils on your fingers can mess it up. So is it like what effect would it have on a piece?
Oh, well, you definitely don't want to touch the plate between coating it. And actually, they come with a little protective plastic coating on them. The first tintype that I ever made, I did not pull the plastic. So the whole thing like crinkled up and kind of ruined itself along the way.
So you had like a nice picture, but it was all
Yeah, it didn't last
crinkled
very
and-
long. About, you know,
Yeah.
40, 50 seconds, and then it was all gone. So
It
that's
can
life.
happen.
It can happen.
Do you have any finished works with you here?
Actually, I do. Yeah, I'm not sure how well they show up on camera.
I mean, we
But
can give it
I
a
brought
shot.
a box of a few of them here. Oh, this is my friend Jacqueline, who's part of our run club, and it's a nice little.
See if we can get a quick zoom in on that.
Yeah,
Oh, look at
there
that.
we go. So that's one of the better ones that I made. Little 4x5 plate portrait. I think this exposure was 8 seconds or something like that.
Oh, nice.
So you have to hold really, really still.
Real talk, yeah. Not the best profession if you guys shake your hands.
Yeah, maybe not. Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right, so do you have like a favorite photographer or someone that you just like look up to in this
Oh
field?
my gosh, there's so many of them. There was a show by Sally Mann in Houston recently.
Okay.
She's a photographer who works in the South. Her tintype stuff's just amazing. But yeah, I'd say probably when it comes to tintype, she's my favorite photographer. But there's some amazing folks on Instagram too.
Oh,
so.
yes. Pinterest, all that.
Oh
crazy.
yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So also with, how would you say that this what do you prefer about digital photography? What do you prefer about this kind of photography?
Gosh, digital photography is just about perfect all the time. You know, it's just, you can shoot so many frames so fast, and the reward is instant from digital photography. I guess it kind of is here too. What I like about I guess the thing I don't like about digital photography is it almost always comes out perfect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't, oh gosh, Sally Mann at her show talked about the angel of uncertainty. So this is so full of uncertainty. I've shot probably, I don't know, 100 plates now, and maybe 10 of them I would say are pretty decent. So it depends. Humidity can affect it. heat can affect it. If you don't let the plate dry out long enough, that can completely mess it up. So there's a lot of things that can affect how it comes out.
Right, so that slight amount of chaos just kind of makes things awesome.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the awesomeness is those little problems on the edges and those little flaws that makes it really, really nice.
Understandable. So is there any what inspiration would you say you draw from sometimes?
You know, there's a photographer out of Houston who works at the University of Houston, and her portraits are absolutely amazing. So every time I see her work, I'm absolutely totally inspired to go out and try to make more photographs. So even though it can be really frustrating, it's totally worth it.
Awesome, awesome. So I was going to go ahead and ask, is there any last minute things that you just want to what is one of your favorite parts about the camera?
The camera?
Yeah.
Just how slow it is, how slow this process is. It really makes you slow down and enjoy the making of pictures.
All right, awesome. Well, I want to go ahead and thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure.
And also thank all of you for being here for the end of one more question. So sorry,
we have one more question.
One more question I totally forgot about. Sure. That is very important. So of course I was going to ask, is there anything that you want to say to any future and aspiring photographers out there?
Do the work.
Do the work.
Do the work. Get out there. Get yourself into situations where you can make good photographs. That's really, really the best way to do it. It's not easy. Just do the work.
Doing the work. I think that's pretty important for any major, anything that you want to get. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you're passionate about it, you're gonna want the drive to do it, right?
You know, and this is exhausting work, but it doesn't feel like work when you're doing it. It's just so much fun.
All right. Well, thank you again so much for your time.
My
I'm gonna go ahead and do it twice.
Pleasure.
And also thank you all for joining us for being here for Jack Talk. Go ahead and see us next time.